What's going on, everyone? Tonight we are doing something very special. We are eating at Artist Point. It is only the third night that it's been open, and this is the new Storybook dining, which features Evil Queen, Snow White, Grumpy, supposed to be Dobie, but unfortunately he's not here. So let's go. Tonight we are here at Artist Point, and so far so good. It looks pretty nice in here. I've got to admit that it has been about 2.5 years since we've actually been here, but the last time we were here was for our honeymoon, and it was very good. I think this was one of our better restaurants. Is that correct? She shakes her head yes. What I really like about this so far, well, there's a good and a bad here. Number one is they put this giant centerpiece in front of the table, which is kind of like a divider in between you and the person that you're with. So it's a little weird, but I can do this.
So it's good for us, for the camera.
So basically what is on the table is like a tree with these 3 giant leaves, and I'm assuming that this is probably where they're going to put your appetizers and probably where they're going to put your desserts, but it spins, so you can easily access anything from on top of it. With that being said, it takes up a lot of space on the table, so the table feels very crowded right now.
To start out our meal, we got some of the signature cocktails, and I got Evil to the Core, which is basically a margarita. It has Patron Silver Tequila, habanero, blackberry, and orange juice. My drink is actually very good. The Patron Silver is very smooth. It has a nice berry flavor and a nice citrus flavor from the orange and the blackberry. And then the habanero in there is not too overpowering. I was actually afraid of that because I really didn't even read what it was. Josh was just like, I'm not gonna like that. And I said I would try it. So I ordered it and then saw there was habanero in it. But it's very good. You can taste the tiniest bit of heat in there, but it is delicious. I will definitely finish this drink.
Alright, so I've got the Enchanted Apple, which comes with Sky Citrus Vodka, Copper, Pucker Sour Apple, white cranberry juice. And then they cut an apple slice and they stick it in there, and then it looks like there's like colored glitter sugar around the edge. It's almost like a citrusy apple juice, really. Very good. I would recommend getting this. It's very smooth. I like it. I could definitely drink this. I kind of want to try Taylor's though. So the only reason why I wouldn't like this is because it's tequila. Nope. Nope. Nope.
This is very good. This definitely tastes like something Josh would drink because it's not too overpowering, but it has great flavor.
Now,
there's always something happening in here. Have come out. They are shared appetizers, so you get one of each of the 3 appetizers to share between each of you. And we got the winter squash bisque that comes out in a little cauldron. This is actually very heavy. So like I said, it's the winter squash bisque. It comes with a caramel lollipop and some granola on top of that. It almost has like a sweet smell to it. I remember someone telling us this before. Squash bisque almost has like a pumpkin type flavor to it, which it does. And there's definitely like some cinnamon in there, which almost kind of gives it a pumpkin pie type flavor to me, but more savory than sweet.
All right, so the appetizers, I think I was a little leery about the portion size. I think that was my biggest concern. But surprisingly, after I got my entree, I still feel pretty full, and we still have dessert to go. But winter squash, I think, was probably the best thing that I had. It was, just like Taylor said, very savory. It was actually not that sweet, which I like. I like that a lot more with the bisque. I don't like it being so sweet because I'm not like a big sweet fan. One thing to note is that the caramel lollipop was actually just marshmallow with, I think, just some granola on the round. So, I mean, not that that's a big deal because I didn't even eat it to begin with, but I would say maybe the reason is that it was served with marshmallow is just because it was to help bring more sweetness into the bisque, kind of balance out that savoriness.
For the hunter's pie, inside of a puff pastry is a chicken and pork mixture. I actually thought it was really good. I was sort of scared to try it at first because I thought it was going to be a lot more like a shepherd's pie. If you've ever had that, it's like beef, mashed potatoes, peas, carrots, and whatever else. But this was not like that at all. It was basically just the puff pastry with the meat inside, and I thought it was actually very good.
The hunter's pie, I was actually quite disappointed with it. It felt very, very dry and wasn't a lot of moisture in there. The pastry is very thin, and the meat in there was just kind of dry. It was okay. The stone fruit preserve, which was like a little jar, was good. It added a nice sweetness to that savoriness of the chicken and pork with the pastry. That was a good combination, and it added some moisture back into the dish. And then the Wicked Shrimp Cocktail, I would also suggest that if you get that, the way that they served it was one piece was laying on the bottom, and then one piece was kind of like up in the air. I ate the piece that was up in the air, and I don't think it had a lot of the soy, miso, or avocado, or the Thai chili on there. I think that was kind of like settled at the bottom. So maybe if you get it, try to maybe move it around in the bottom of the jar. But it was good. The shrimp was cooked well, not chewy. It was good.
My favorite out of the three had to be the Wicked Shrimp. It had great flavor on there. There was a little bit of spiciness, avocado, and then there was some cream in there as well. There was also some arugula garnish in there, which I didn't really eat any of that, but the shrimp with the flavor of all of these combined was really good. The shrimp was cooked really well. I got the Royal Prime Rib Roast as my entree. It came with horseradish mashed potatoes, hay smoked carrots, a popover, and some au jus. They actually didn't ask me how I wanted it cooked, but it did come out a nice medium rare. It was very tender. Actually had some really good flavor. I could tell that there was a nice rub on the outside of the prime rib itself. And sometimes whenever mashed potatoes are cooked with some sort of flavor, whether it is wasabi or horseradish or whatever it may be, I could definitely taste the horseradish in the mashed potato, which I was very pleased with that. And I actually really don't like carrots, like cooked carrots, but I did try them and they were cooked very well. They were nice and tender and they had a really great flavor. They were like a glazed carrot. And I have to say, a long time ago we ate at the Edison and a popover came with my prime rib and I did not like it at all. So I have had a bad taste for those ever since. This popover was actually very good. I ate almost the whole thing. It was cooked perfectly. It was nice and fluffy. It was puffed up perfectly. And basically what it is just like bread that's puffed up and fluffy. Overall, it was a very good entree, and it was actually a very good sized portion as well. I was afraid it was going to be like really small, like a half portion or something, but it was very good and very filling.
For my entree, I had the Magic Mirror slow braised veal shank, which was quite good. It was served with the celery root mash, which is basically just like a mashed potato, and wilted greens and juice. It was actually fantastic. Probably the best part of the meal. It pulled apart perfectly. I mean, it was cooked very well. I would definitely get that again, and it was a very large portion, in my opinion. I had probably gotten about halfway through it, and I was really starting to feel full. But it was very good. I would definitely get that again. And to add on to that, the flavoring in there was just very savory, which was nice, and all the fat was like rendered down really well, which I really liked. We're now going to move on to the desserts, which have been sitting here for a while because it's taken a while to eat.
we ate our dessert, we actually went out front to meet the evil queen, and then we came back to our table, and right before we came back to our table, Dopey walked in. A fantastic surprise, because Dopey wasn't supposed to be here tonight. So we did get to meet Dopey, which I was so happy about. But now we're gonna dig into dessert. First up here is Miner's Treasure. It's a vanilla sponge cake that is colored to be green, and then it's layered with chocolate gems and a buttercream frosting. The buttercream frosting is purple to be like Dopey's hat, and then it's a green cake to be like Dopey's clothes. And then you can see the little Dopey hat on top. This here is the fairy tale gooseberry pie, and if you've seen Snow White, you will know that she makes gooseberry pie in the movie, and it's Grumpy's favorite dessert, so that's why we had to have it here. And the cutest, prettiest little dessert that there ever was is the poison apple. It's a white chocolate apple mousse rolled in a red cocoa powder, and then it has a sour apple center, and then it's got the little apple leaf on top. The gooseberry pie was very good. It almost had like an apple pie type taste to it. It was very good, and I really don't like meringues, but that meringue was very good. It was nice and soft, and when I've had meringue in the past, it's been like crunchy and like
Really hard.
like dense, but that was very good, light and fluffy and perfect. The Miner's Treasure wasn't too bad. It's definitely more of like an appearance type thing, and it's a cute little dessert for kids, I think. And I forgot that the buttercream frosting was berry flavor, so I was like, what am I tasting? But that's what it was. It was a berry buttercream. And then the little pieces of treasure throughout the dessert, I thought that they were going to be like hard candies, because that's kind of what they looked like from the outside of the dish, but they were actually just pieces of colored chocolate. So that was a nice surprise whenever I dug into that.
The gooseberry pie was actually basically an apple pie, which was still very good. I liked it. I'm not a huge meringue fan. I did not eat the meringue. Taylor liked it, so. But it was very good. It's a good dessert. Small portion size, but again, I keep saying small portion size, but this reminds me of when we went to Victoria and Albert's, where everything is a small portion, but it's so many things that it all really starts to add up after a while. The Miner's Treasure, which I know I'm going to sound probably really dumb when I say this, but was probably my favorite dessert. It's simple. It's just cake and icing, basically. I really like the chocolate pieces inside because it was like treasure in there, and you kind of get that, and it's not crunchy and hard. Hi, Grumpy. And then the sour apple, it was good. Not my favorite thing. It's a little too gelatiny for me. So it's not jello, but it's very soft. When I was holding it, it felt like the center was actually going to fall out of the bottom, but it's still very good. You do get a nice sourness in the middle. It's not super sour, but it's definitely not something that you want to like take a bite of. I think you have to eat it whole. But I will say, my favorite was probably the Miner's Treasure. I know, I'm simple like that. They also serve serve the Hunter's Gift. These are just chocolate hearts, I think. Oh, Taylor just told me that it's a heart because the hunter is supposed to take Snow White's heart and cut it out of her chest and then return it to the evil queen. This movie just got really, really dark.
I am so glad, though, that I saved that poison apple for last because it was delicious. They were like, don't be surprised by the sour center. It might be a little bit too strong. It was perfect. It was almost sort of like a cheesecake, but a little more gelatin for the whole apple. It's actually a vanilla mousse, but it tasted kind of like a cheesecake. And then it had that sour center, and it actually had some little crunchy, crispy pieces on the inside. It was delicious. And it's kind of like what Josh said, you just have to take it in one bite, and it was a perfect bite. I would love to have more if that was a possibility.
All right, so we just finished eating over at Artist Point, and it was a very good dinner.
It was a good dinner. It was a very satisfying ending with that little poison apple, I thought.
It was good.
And meeting Dopey at the end.
Yes, and I definitely feel full. I think I was definitely worried about the portion sizes. Again, I know I keep saying it, but they were small, but they all add up after a while. And I do think that it is definitely worth $55.
Oh yeah, you get the character experience and a meal all in one. And they do like some special little stuff like singing and dancing with kids and adults if you want to. But it's $55 and it's all included. So you get the 3 appetizers to share, you get an entree, and then you get the 3 desserts to share. And that's amongst the whole table.
That also includes a non-alcoholic beverage.
It does.
Which we didn't get. We got alcoholic beverages.
So those were an additional charge. But we wanted to try them out.
Yeah. So in total it was about $150, and then they do take DVC and annual pass discounts. So that takes about 10% off. So, I mean, without the drinks, we didn't need to get the alcoholic beverages. So without those, it would have been around like $110 before tax. So I still don't think that that's that bad. It was a very good meal, good portion size on the entree.
Yes.
Plenty to eat as far as the appetizers and the desserts.
And then you got to meet 4 characters, and 3 of which you cannot meet in the parks otherwise.
Right.
So I thought that was a pretty good experience.
Yeah, because the last time we met Evil Queen was actually at
Club Villain in 2016.
which they have never done again yet.
No, they haven't, and it's very sad.
Come on, Disney. Let's go. One thing that I observed while we were in there is that the table, like the restaurant, did not seem to be full. So I don't know if they are limiting reservations in advance, allowing people to maybe do some more walk-ups and try the table. If you don't have a reservation, maybe try if you're interested. If you're staying here, maybe walk up and try if you don't have a reservation. I don't know that for sure, but
yeah, it was definitely empty while we were, not empty, but there were empty tables
there,
while we were
there
there.
were several tables that just did not get filled. I mean, the entire time that we were there.
Yeah.
And we were there from 4:30 to, what time is it now, 6:30?
Yes, almost 2 hours.
Another thing that I want to add is that they do try to move you very quickly through the restaurant. Not in a way that you feel necessarily rushed. I mean, I guess if they're trying to move you through, you might feel rushed, but it's very quick. The characters come by very quickly, and the food comes out very quickly. And the reason is because most of it is already made up. You know, the appetizers are already made, desserts already made. They're really just cooking your entree.
Yeah, and they're cooking it to order, but they only have so many things that they have to cook, where in a regular restaurant, they're cooking every single thing to order, and it's different for every single meal that comes out, where these, only the entree is different.
Right. So Taylor actually said this earlier, that this might be a good place to come if you're in the park during the day. And like tonight, there's a Christmas party. If you can get a reservation maybe around 5 or 4 or something around there, come in. You could probably be in and out within 45 minutes.
Oh, easily.
Assuming that all 4 characters are there, because Dopey was not there to start, and we were told that he might not be there at all, but he did show up at the end. Overall, it was a great restaurant. I would recommend anybody else to come by and try. I mean, characters you don't get to see.
Have you had an opportunity to try this dining experience yet? Or are you going to be trying it here in the future? Let us know in the comments.